welcome. Yes, finally it's there. I'm back doing another podcast. It's a little bit of time ago. I mean, I didn't think I even did one in 2026, and that's because I've been so busy, guys. We're really busy with JJ Sports Studio, of course. Also with the gaming, JJ on the Mod. And also for people who wants to follow wrestling on different platforms. Since yesterday, JJ Sports Studio is now also available on TikTok, tiktok.com backslash at JJ on the JJ Sports Studio. It's amazing, how you grow, and it's really amazing. I mean, we're close by on YouTube by very close by to 6,000 subscribers. I'm really happy for that. So yeah. Anyway, if you have any questions around or you want to interact with me about predictions for the Royal Rumble, please do so. This can be done over on YouTube chat. We're also broadcasting live currently on X, so that's nice. So yeah, the Royal Rumble is upon us, peeps. Yes, in Saudi Arabia. You know, I always like the Royal Rumble. I think it's amazing. I think it's a great concept. It's something different, you know what I mean? And every 2 minutes or 90 seconds, what is it, 90 seconds these days? Yeah, it switches. Sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes it's 90 seconds. I can't figure it out. But I think 90 seconds is a better way because it keeps more the pace going. You know what I mean? It keeps it going, more flow, and more. How close are you to surprises? So yeah, let's go to the predictions, peeps. All right, and I just have to get my notes a little bit up. Otherwise, I will be helpless. All right, and let's start up with a match that actually has been debated on social media, and I seen some things that doesn't look good. A lot of people don't want AJ Styles to lose, and me either. I think I love AJ Styles. I think he is a phenomenal wrestler. I remember when he debuted for the Royal Rumble. And actually, if he were to try, it makes sense. He debuted and he ended his career on the Royal Rumble. And I've been going back and forward. Is this really AJ Styles, his last match? Well, there are signs for it, peeps. Let's be real. Let's call spade spade. Suddenly all these matches with CM Punk, a world title match, Shinsuke Nakamura, out of the blue. But I didn't see anything. I don't think WrestleMania is now too long stretch. How fast they are popping these matches. So I was thinking, and today there's a report coming out that there was a trademark, two trademarks being posted by AJ Styles, and that doesn't look good, peeps. If that is true, well, the trademarks are true, that those are legit. But if they start filing now, because here's the thing, peeps, and I will tell you a little bit how WWE operates in that way. Mostly, if it comes to trademarks, they be filed by WWE. In this matter, it's been filed by AJ Styles. Now, we've seen last week that also done by Tommaso Ciampa, right, when his contract was not being renewed. Actually, the same more or less now with AJ Styles. And the thing is, peeps, is that we saw yesterday AJ Styles of Tommaso Ciampa debuting on AEW. Now, I'm not going to say he's going to AEW, right? Don't jump directly on my bandwagon here. But it looks like he is retiring not his career, but his WWE run. And I would actually have liked it if he went back to TNA. It would make for him as a wrestler full circle. He started off, he became big in TNA. Why not end it there? I would do that the same if I was an athlete. You know what I mean? If um, I don't know, if I was a wrestler and I would have started off in TNA and I got the choice, I would do the same. You know what I mean? I mean, the beginning of where you grown big, um, it would make a lot of sense to start there or also to end it because those fans, follow TNA. They make you who you are. You know what I mean? And that makes a lot of sense. So, but that's just my opinion. But it looks like it. Definitely, he's going to do something else. And when trademarks been filed, you know, you want directly also use them. I'm not. Um, I know a little bit of experience with that because of JTA Sports Studio as owner and also as a founder of owner JTA On Demand with trademarks. You directly want to start using it because you have to pay money for it. It's not free, and these they don't come in cheap. I can tell you that. And the thing is, so you pay for it. You also want to directly use it because you pay for it, right? I mean, it's the same like buying a car. Now, would you buy a car and start first saying, well, go and use it first in 3 months? No, definitely not. It sounds harsh. So, but it looks to me that Gunther is definitely going to retire AJ Styles. Much of it hated, but also, with the trademark being filed of Gunther called a career killer. Now, that sounds to me, uh, yeah, they really want to put that on his name, right? So, but I always say, ending someone's career in the wrestling must be an honor because even if you go over, the guy is willing to put you over. Because if you retire in the world of pro wrestling, right? Let's call spade a spade. You go actually on your back out, and you do that because you have this phenomenal run. If you get a retirement match, you know you did something in the world of pro wrestling that you earned this. AJ Styles, definitely. I don't want to go even in debate because I easily win that debate, but the guy has done so much in the world of pro wrestling, and he really earns it. And trust me, people know me. I'm sometimes a little bit emotional guy, and trust me, this is going to happen. I know myself, and I'm watching tomorrow the Royal Rumble, and he retires. I will let it here because that guy, you know, he actually, um, meant for me as not only as a journalist, right, as a pro wrestling journalist, but also in the fact that uh, um, that um, he earned his stripe, and definitely for me, also as a fan, as a journalist, it was always amazing to cover his content as a journalist, as a fan. I loved his matches. He was always, as he says, he was phenomenal in the ring. He definitely was. And not only I'm talking about WWE, I'm talking about in TNA, I'm talking about in Japan. Um, you know, it, it it would make so much sense, peeps, at the moment that he would just retire and as I said, from if he goes just retire from WWE, he goes back to TNA. I'm pretty sure that would make most logic. You can go, of course, to AEW, and it's not because I don't dislike AEW, far from, um, but it would make much sense. Maybe because of the Young Bucks, but because of the Bullet Club and all that stuff. But I think it's mostly TNA he is going over back if he's continued to wrestle. But and if he double retires, we're going to miss that guy definitely. And yeah, and I'm sorry, and I know people don't like it that he retires and losing, but it sounds the most logic. And Gunther, you can hate him or dislike him or whatever, but Gunther is a phenomenal wrestler. and I seen some interviews, and I never met him. I'll be honest, but if you see him as an interview, he's come over across such a humble and nice guy. Because people lot, some people judge him on his TV character, and that's not wrong. You should never judge him on his TV character. You know, I always look a little bit deeper. I always go look, okay, how is he as a person? So how do you find it out? Well, go look some personal interviews with him. Maybe from the past, maybe uh, these days, if you know that are not related to WWE. I mean, not talking about the 6 Feet Under from The Undertaker or Cody Rhodes podcast or Stephanie McMahon. I think those can easily be storyline driven, right? But you know, uh, name a few. I don't know. Those others, that with I can't remember. It doesn't matter. We also go. I think if he came on board I would like one day actually to have him on chat of doing an interview with Gunther, because what I've seen of him in interviews, he's come over across to me as such a nice and humble guy. Nothing big of himself. Yes, of course, on a TV character, he come over as a son of a bitch, but that is just play. That is just being a heel, and he's phenomenal at that. But go look actually doing his interviews, and there you get a different opinion from it. Trust me. But I see him go over, and then also, the rumors is that Gunther will also later retire Brock Lesnar on SummerSlam. But that's we can talk about in the summer in those debate again. So my prediction for AJ Styles, Gunther goes over, AJ Styles retires from WWE. I'll say it like this because I have a feeling he's not retiring from wrestling. I mean, let's be real here. I mean, who really retires from wrestling? You know, there's been so many examples that they retire and then later on they, come up with some sort of old meeting wrestling show. You know what I mean? And that's okay. You know what I mean? If you want to see those legend wrestlers, those are perfect shows to go. Really, they're nice. You know what I mean? It's fun to see them. Bring up memories. So yeah. Okay, the next match: Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Championship. Now, my prediction goes with Drew McIntyre. I believe Drew McIntyre will hold the title till WrestleMania. He just won it. It would not make sense, for the definitely WWE Championship to directly change hand again. You get hot potatoing. It takes away always, if you do such, the credibility of a title. And if you also have watching WWE for a while now, since Triple H came on, we never had really short runs, never. And the guy is actually over, even as a heel. I was in Copenhagen, seeing the live show. He was there. And he was so phenomenal. And the crowd was saying, you deserve it, right? And he said, damn hell I will, or damn hell I do. And that was it. But he was so phenomenal. And, he comes over, he wears it with pride. And also, it's the same again with Drew, actually. Drew I met, and that was after, I think it was on WCPW, an event was in England. And he was there. He was just released from WWE. And this guy is such a nice guy. And he took the time even, to have a chat. And I think I spoke with him, what was it, 20, 30 minutes or so. I can't even remember. I do remember that. And he was so phenomenal. He was so amazing. And was really awesome guy to meet. I mean, you can. I don't think also. That's the thing with Drew, because of his stature, right? I think him being heel is perfectly. It fits him. He can draw being a heel so phenomenal and still being so over. That's the funniest part. And I actually deserve it. And I also want him to go into WrestleMania as champion because last time he was in WrestleMania becoming champion, he became champion when it was during COVID, and there was no crowd. And I feel, that pop when he won the title or coming in as champion, as this case matter, um, it only makes sense, to give him that because that must be so phenomenal feeling for a pro wrestler to be coming on the biggest stage or going into the world's biggest event, WrestleMania, as champion. I mean, that must be so phenomenal. You know what I mean? And yeah. Of course, you can say, yeah, but he won on WrestleMania and then he lost against CM Punk. Nee, what was it? Seth? No, CM Punk. Not. No. What is his name? Damian Priest. That was the one. He lost to Damian Priest. And thanks to help with CM Punk because CM Punk was sitting on commentary, was injured. Being that said, but I see Drew going over Sammy. It would make sense. He just won the title. And he's the phenomenal. He is a very good dominant heel and deserves to go into WrestleMania. Also to make up for, the COVID season. He really deserves that. And that's my opinion. The difference at the time. That time he was a babyface. Now he's a heel. But personally, I like him better as a heel. All right, the women's Royal Rumble match, and there's a lot of people going in. Bianca Belair has been rumored to return. We know that Nikki Bella is seen in Saudi Arabia. She's there. Julia will probably be in. Charlotte, Alexa Bliss. The whole Judgment Day. Roxanne Perez, of course, and what is her name? Rodriguez. I always, I'm so terrible with names. It's almost terrible. But talking about the Rodriguez girl, she has a championship match, a street fight. Now that, and I have a feeling what we're going to play for WrestleMania. Right? Liv is back, the revenge tour, right? She calls us. And what for revenge has she taken? So I think that she will take down internally the Judgment Day. Put everybody up against each other. Now, here's the thing. So I see the Rodriguez girl. She's winning the women's world championship in the street fight, in Philadelphia street fight, with help from the Judgment Day. So with Liv, with Roxanne helping her. And in that, they get to win. It's cheat, but yeah, it's a street fight, no disqualification. And then you have, of course, on this weekend, Liv Morgan win. That is my pick for the Women's Royal Rumble. And what you can actually do on WrestleMania, have the final blow between Liv and Rodriguez, and go Liv over as winning the World Championship. Now, I see on WrestleMania also the Judgment Day being ended. They're also coming to conclude, and the thing is, I can also see even be getting, for on the WrestleMania, for example, Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. So let that explode, but in a way, then turn instead of Finn Balor heel, turn Dominic Mysterio face and let them go off with continue a little bit with the storyline between Liv and Dominic. I mean, Liv is over. She's phenomenal popular. I mean, I can even see it on when we publish articles from JJ Sports Studios or we have videos. She gets so much interest. There's so much interaction on those. Even if it just not major stories of to publish, but we publish, and you know what I mean. So that shows me also something. So Liv is definitely over, and why not? I mean, she's a beautiful woman. She is her age of what is she? 31. She's the perfect age, to win the Royal Rumble, to win the World Championship. They actually already done some, but have this phenomenal run. You know what I mean? I mean, look what she did in 2024. She had that major, amazing storyline, and it really pushed her to the main event status, in my opinion, with Rhea Ripley. So Liv Morgan in the Royal Rumble, yeah. Well, that's my pick. I'm always curious what you guys think. Always welcome in the chat, or if you're watching live now, or you're watching or in the comments if you're watching on demand this podcast. Now, let me know what you think actually. What you think about Liv Morgan winning the Royal Rumble, or who do you think will win? That's always allowed. I'm not, I always like it to hear from other people. Only always I say be civil and be nice. You know what I mean? Don't be an asshole. Yeah. And then the men's Royal Rumble. And I've been looking a little bit, and I was doubting, and I went to look a little bit on betting odds for this, because I had no clue who should win the men's Royal Rumble. And the other pick comes out Roman Reigns. And I start thinking, okay, what can you do? Because if I was WWE, let Cody win the Elimination Chamber. Let him go to Drew, and then we get Roman, CM Punk? I mean, that would make sense, right? But if you do that. But the thing is, what I think is ridiculous, because this is my problem with Roman Reigns. I have nothing against personal about him, but the case is he's a part-timer. I mean, look at how he's booked in towards the Royal Rumble. He never even showed up. Roman Reigns now goes from doing phenomenal promos, with the bloodline, to what? To say, okay, WWE stating, oh, he will be in the Royal Rumble. I mean, how is his WrestleMania build-up going to be? Well, okay, I choose him, and you see me in WrestleMania. Bye. I mean, I think that is not fair to the fans. If you these big events, right, like Royal Rumble, like Survivor Series, like SummerSlam, like WrestleMania, you need a good build-up. And what does he do? He sits at home. I'm sorry, and I think it's so unfair for the people who's work their ass off, for all those wrestlers who work their ass off 20 around the clock, go even doing house shows, going touring European, and knock all their brains out. Don't they deserve more, a main event spot? I mean, seriously, that is my problem with Roman Reigns, and it's not because of Roman Reigns himself. No, that's my problem with WWE. I think it's not fair that these Hall of Famers come in once per year per WrestleMania, and I understand also why, because these part-timers bring memories back, but make them a special event that certain Hall of Famers or part-timers once come back. I mean, Duquesne versus Drew McIntyre on a special event. You know what I mean? But I think on the biggest event should be people who've been fighting and showing and going in the ring 24/7 for our fans and showing how phenomenal and wonderful wrestling can be. They should be in the main event. They deserve it. They work their ass off. I mean, seriously, it's like a job, right? If you go on, if you if you go on, if you have an office job, you work your ass off, and you because you want to make a promotion, right? You want to get a career going. Um, uh, and you work your really ass off, and you know you do this. Maybe take some work home or help your co-workers out. You know, really fight for that job, that the career that you show off to your boss and say, "Listen, I do this all the time." And then one guy comes in, you know, never there, and yeah, he in the past he did something and get your promotion. That's the same thing. You know, and I hate that. I'm myself a workhorse, and I think if you're a workhorse, you should pay off. You know what you show off, you deliver. You know, should also result in a promotion or you know in a pay raise or whatever. Same goes with Roman Reigns, because if WWE is now so lazy just to say, well, he's in the Royal Rumble. Not even one show he was booked on to come out, declared himself for Royal Rumble. No, he didn't want to or couldn't. Now, okay, with the weather, you know, in the US as it's been the last week, I understand that. You know what I mean? But you could have done it earlier. You know, make him the first one to declare himself as the Royal Rumble. He has that name for it. You know, and then you got also, you don't even have to come also all the shows after. No, definitely not. Maybe one or two, maybe. And then, you know, then it's more exciting. Now you got a big name. This one goes in. This one goes in. Oh, Royal Rumble, Robinson. You know what I mean? And that's not happened this year. And I think the Royal Rumble is so terribly built up. The only thing what I found interesting was actually the tournament, what was done for Drew McIntyre's title. That was phenomenal. I think I like that. But I mean, CM Punk is not even having a match. I mean, Stephanie Valkyrie doesn't have a match. I mean, you know, Jake Cargill, also women's champion, not having a match. I still believe in that these champions should all defend, the main champions should defend at least something of the title on the Royal Rumble. Because they're not going to be in the Rumble. Yet they represent the company. And I can't stand it. And you know, Carmelo Hayes, he is, you know, doing the open challenges, you know, every week. You know, the mid-card titles almost more defended, you know, in a year than the main titles these days. And Dominic, yes, he's injured. I don't know when he will be back. I have a feeling he will. I have a feeling he will be in the Royal Rumble. Because he was injured, it's ideal to bring him back. But that's just my opinion. And of course, the whole problem, and what we're also facing these days, there's so many titles. You know, there's so many titles. So in a way, I can understand not all the main titles can't be defended. I get that. I mean, why does even WWE have 2 world championships? It's only but confusing. I mean, there should only be one. That's my opinion. You know, I mean, TNA doesn't have 2 world championships. AEW doesn't. New Japan doesn't. So why does WWE? WWE should have 2 world championships. Because they're special? No, absolutely not. I think that's bullshit. But that's my opinion. And these things really irritate me with WWE right now. And that's my opinion, and it's nothing against, or I hate W. No, far from. But these things, you know, should be addressed. And these days, there's so many titles in every company. Don't get me wrong. It's also the same problem with AEW. Only who has reasonable titles, I think it's TNA. But that's enough. Now, but my pick goes then to Roman Reigns, even though I'm not happy for it. I think he doesn't deserve it. I think it should go to a guy who is there over 24/7, going in the ring for you. Maybe sometimes even just to do a promo, but he is there. Those people deserve it more, and that's my personal opinion. But that's again. Anyway, these are my picks. I'm always happy to hear from you guys what you think. Who are your predictions? Who are your picks to win the Royal Rumble? Will there be any surprises? Well, maybe Seth. Oh, I doubt it because this injury. It's hard to say he could be coming back, but he's been posting last few days he can't be. So maybe he will enter number 30, just like John Cena did. Maybe. I'm not going to hang my highest hopes on it. Well, further, I actually don't know because the problem is these days also, maybe Leon Slater, I think, is from TNA, could be in it. But the case is now there's so many wrestling promotions, big pro wrestling promotions, AEW is there, TNA is out there. So it's hard, and those who are still active to wrestle, I mean, those days I think are gone. That you, the Godfather come back. Remember that. Do his thing and then be kicked out 5 minutes after. That I like. That what I also liked with the Royal Rumble. I think these days are done. So maybe the Bellas, both Bellas are in. I don't hear actually about Brie anything. So there have been talks. She had talks with WWE. That is reported, but what that came out of it, I don't know. I really don't know, guys. Anyway, let's close down the show. I have nothing more to say. If you let me know if you think who's going to win. Leave the predictions in the comments. Always welcome to hear. What shall I else more say? If you're watching on YouTube, youtube.com/JJA LiveTube, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/JJA Sports Studio. We're on X also, where we're broadcasting live right now on X at JJA Sports Studio. On TikTok, of course, don't forget to follow us there. We're new. On tiktok.com/JJ Sports Studio. And soon we'll also go on Twitch, don't you worry about that. I want to wait till we're going to do 2 shows. So probably after the Rumble somewhere, then we're going to do 2 podcasts per week. That would be nice. Anyway, I hope you have a great Royal Rumble. Always welcome to give feedback what you think about the Royal Rumble. Also welcome to put that in the comments, of course. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you, it looks like on Tuesday or on Thursday, but definitely next week somewhere. Keep our social media pages an eye on that. Always post. So when we're doing podcasts. Anyway, have a great Royal Rumble. And take care. Have a lovely Thursday evening, peeps. Bye.